Welcome from community to our PGS Talks number 7. We are approaching the last quarter of the PGS Summit 2022. And it's my big pleasure to welcome you all to the panel, Circular Economy and Creative Industries, the case study of sustainable fashion in local communities of Latin America. To introduce us in such an interesting topic and illustrated with their experience in Latin America, I am honored to welcome Paula Ruiz Diaz, fashion designer and communications leaders at Hecho por Nosotros, and Victoria Verone, political scientist and general coordinator at Hecho por Nosotros. Paula, Victoria, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and for being with us today. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the PGS Summit, and the floor is always yours.
Thank you, Paula. So, hi everyone. Thank you for having us today, and we are really happy to have this chance to ignite this dialogue on sustainable fashion and Latin America, which is usually forgotten, the South. So, we started thinking about this presentation with Vicky. And the first thing that came to our mind was why? Why is that we are here? Why is that we have to do this now? And why us? And the answer we found along the way was that waiting around, sitting for someone else to come and change things is not an option, because it's a luxury that only people with time has. And this generation, our generation, do not have much time. We have to change things right now. We are the decision makers of the future society. So it is really important to start and to ignite this change today. We are here to talk a little bit about the fashion industry, the creative industries in Latin America. First of all, the reason why we exist, the entities such as Animana and Hecho por Nosotros exist, is because these industries have a lot of issues that we have to tackle down, a lot of problems we have to find solutions for. So it's an industry that has huge externalities such as environmental impact, land, water, air, a lack of respect for human rights, and a gap that is growing bigger day by day, and that is based in social and economic inequalities. So this all happened because the industry is really fragmented, and that means that we cannot have high rates of traceability and transparency. And this is an obstacle for MSMEs that want to be sustainable, because they cannot thrive in the ecosystem. So the problem is, to find the answer to this big question, that is how we can change this industry. And the answer to that is regenerative models. Regenerative models are businesses and technologies that are designed to align markets in service of the people on the planet and not the other way around. And in design, it means that we get to renew the own resources of the industry and the energy the industry uses. And by doing this, we get to create a more sustainable system that integrates the needs we have as a society, but at the same time, it respects the planetary boundaries. That is really important. So these regenerative models fit into regenerative ecosystems, which means that these business models, these new business models cannot work without partners that are also regenerative. We all have to be sustainable for it to work. So within this ecosystem, we can find Hecho por Nosotros and Animana. Hecho por Nosotros is a non-profit NGO. We can sort of say this in United Nations. And what we do is work in these capacity building programs and with research and educational activities, as well as working hand in hand with Animana, that is a big corp that has more than 10 years of experience in the fashion world, but in a circular fashion world that we haven't seen yet. So these are words of Adriana. We are working to get or to reach a reimagined fashion and textile industry, where technology is used as a tool to empower the businesses, to empower artisans, and to recover from them the sustainable techniques and the processes and natural fibers that are they use, on the daily life. So this is interesting because recovering all this old and ancient stuff that might sound sometimes boring is actually quite interesting. We are in this transitional, point of view. We kind of have to pivot right now. And these hierarchies that were really traditional are breaking down, and they are giving a way, they are opening doors for new systems to come in. And this is where we can fit sustainability in. We can kind of rewrite our history via these co-creating challenges, via this dialogue, ongoing dialogue, interdisciplinary, and between people from all ages and people from different backgrounds and different, social status, because we have to work in a future as a whole society, as the citizens of the world. We have to stop, seeing like in this kind of selfish way, the way we live, and we kind of have to create this new world where we all can fit in, we all can find a place and live with dignity and live in a respectful way with the planet and with the people that are near us. With these regenerative models comes regenerative lifestyles. And that means when we talk about regeneration, we have to see it in a holistic way. We are not just talking about fashion, and that is really important. That is something we always say. This is not just fashion, this is everything else. This is about regenerative new ways of living, of eating, of wearing clothes, of doing agriculture and marketing and finances. This is about changing everything for good and, to get these real solutions. So the way we have kind of approached this is by shifting the focus of power. We have to, change the way we look at the world. We have to stop seeing profit as the center of our ambition, and we have to start fostering community as a force of systemic change. And this means that we all have to start seeing ourselves different. We have to kind of adopt this attitude of custodians. We are the keepers of this world. We are the keepers of this society, this whole humanity. So we should be taking care of the place we're living in and the people that are sharing this space with us. This is a way to co-create a shared future, a future that belongs to all of us and not just to some of us. And to achieve this, we have to actually, kind of seek and kind of try to really understand the impact and the true cost of our decisions. And once we have realized how much damage we have done to this world, we can start thinking about how we can find solutions for that. And this knowledge and these new tools that we are finding along the way, we get to share with others in a more inclusive and a regenerative ecosystem, which means that it's kind of a circle, a cycle that will never end. And that is the way we kind of approach everything we do. This ecosystem I'm talking about generates the capacity to reach the entire world, because when we start thinking locally, we start thinking, of a real change that comes within us. And once that change is done, it kind of grows beyond us. And this new ecosystem integrate three things that are really important. That is sustainability, systemic change, but also local development. That is really important. And the important thing about this is that we get to really achieve the welfare of present and of new generations, of generations that will come after us. And so there is a huge place and kind of like key actor that plays in this new ecosystem, and that is young people, youth. Why? A little bit about what I said in the beginning. The reason is because youth is right now, a huge part of the decision making of everyday life. Anything we do, anything we choose, anything we read, anything we use, it's kind of a political statement. With the things we do day by day, we get to choose the world we are kind of building up. So we are trying to raise the voice and to, you know, reach the whole world with these new ideas of, we as young people have to co-create. We have to work as a team. We have to share tools and knowledge. We're not competing here. This is not a competition. We don't have to win. We just have to work, you know, towards one specific and one kind of general and global goal. And when thinking about this, there is a thing we try to do, and is building trust and recognizing the values of different knowledge systems and different cultures. This comes really in hand when working with artisans, because society has forget the actual value of artisanship, the actual value of ancestral knowledge. And the truth is, these ancestral communities already know what regeneration means. They are regenerative by design, by being born. And that is amazing. And that is what we are trying to, you know, bring back. So I will talk a little bit about an awesome experience, success, you know, story. This is Anima and Hecho por Nosotros have always worked with capacity building programs, and that is, you know, a group of a community, a local community reach us, or we get to know them by, you know, things of life, and they usually have this problem of having amazing artisans, you know, amazing products, because the talent and the technique is just beyond what you can imagine. But then they cannot find a place in the market so easily. So what we're trying to do here is share the knowledge we have on the topics that, you know, you have to have in mind when thinking about a business. So we are talking about marketing, about design, about finances, circularity, how to be sustainable, how we can storytell, you know, our brand. What is that people like to hear about brands? And once they can kind of shapeshift the just artisanship to an artisanship that works in more of like a business model, they get to you know, put their brands in the market. So it is a really interesting process. It is, you know, nobody does this on their own. It's always an interdisciplinary team, usually from all around the world. But the interesting thing this time was that we usually did it on presential mode, you know, because that was possible. But then 2019 to 2020 came up, and we have a challenge. And the challenge was, how can we work with these artisans in a remote way? Because we wanted to still keep the change, you know, going, but we have to find these new kind of solutions and way, you know, to get to share and the dialogue and keep the dialogue alive. But we have to find new ways, and this was Zoom. This was some images of the activities we have, and we never met the community in person. They were from Peru, and we were all around the world, and but it was an amazing opportunity. So I will stop talking a little bit right now, because Vicky has a lot of to say, a lot of interesting things to say. Vicky, I give you the word.
Thank you, Paula. Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria Verone, and I'm going to walk you through our work with the Sustainable Development Goals. As a consultative status NGO, we work with all of the sustainable goals, but there are some of them that are at the core of the problem we deal with, at the core of the industry. So these are some of them. Regarding the social and cultural impacts, we work with decent work and economic growth, awakening potential local economies, and wanting to have decent work throughout all of the value chain. Regarding gender equality too, the main percentage of women-led enterprises are in the MSME sector and in the grassroots of the industries. We face as women, the most disadvantaged in terms of financial representation and education. So in Hecho por Nosotros, we work to enhance their work and to give them the opportunity to be in decision-making positions. We want to reduce inequalities, and we want good health and well-being for producers and for consumers. Also, quality education is at the core of what we do. We have, as Paula was showing you before, capacity building programs which create financial, environmental, and technological knowledge. But it's not any kind of knowledge, because we see knowledge in a bilateral way. We learn from them as much as they learn from us. They have a lot of ancestral and wisdom and knowledge on how to successfully manage social ecological systems. As Paula already said, they already have regenerative models, and we are learning from them too. Regarding the environment, we work with sustainable practice to adapt with climate action. And well, water actually is one of the most damaged environments by textile industry, especially by dyeing and the treatment of the textiles. So at Hecho por Nosotros, we work with natural fibers, and we work towards replacing polluting methods with environmental ones. Also, we create innovation, and we work with affordable and clean energy. Lastly, we work with responsible consumption and production. We don't only work in the production of the garments, but we also work for people to become aware of what they are consuming, with consuming behavior studies and research. Also, one of the most important sustainable development goals we work with is the number 17, to work together towards this goal. In Hecho por Nosotros and Animana, we have a huge ecosystem where we have allies from universities, entrepreneurs, collaborators, artisans, big brands all over the world. We have a huge live ecosystem where we all work together and think together in order to create real, sustainable, systemic change, not just superficial, but the system to turn and to see all of those that have been marginalized. With that in mind, I invite you all to become a part of Hecho por Nosotros and Animana. We have a program that is called Youth for Youth, where we support and encourage young leaders all over the world to take action for systemic change and to become real change makers. So with that, I leave you with our information, and thank you, Paula, very much for this opportunity, and all of the global students who make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Victoria and Paula, for sharing such an inspiring initiative and impactful initiative in Latin America. I'm a big fan of Anima and Hecho por Nosotros, and I'm pretty sure we will continue partnering for many years ahead. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Take care, have a good one, and let me invite people. I will add to the chat here to join us here we are. To join us in the next session, meeting impactful student initiatives in the Americas, Europe, and Africa. We're gonna receive guest speakers who are leading student initiatives on the ground and driving changing on the ground. So it's also a great opportunity to meet other like minds like us. Okay. Thank you so much, Paula. Thank you, Victoria. Take care. See you around.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.